What up, everybody? It's your boy Stoney coming to you live from the TCM Museum in Minnesota. It's Friday, so you know it's another live edition of the Space Corps podcast. Thanks for hopping on, checking it out. Of course, do everything you want to do. Subscribe, like, share, invite your friends, man. We've definitely made the pilgrimage over from Facebook to the YouTube. Don't regret it one bit. Getting to meet a lot of more awesome people that support the show. Of course, the show ain't possible without the love and the help of our sponsors, the TCM Fan Club. That is tcmfanclub.com. It is 100% free resource and everything Texas Chainsaw Massacre you could ever want out of there, including a really cool old school message board. So some of us older cats that predate the MySpace, Facebook era, we used to all get together online on message boards and talk a bunch of shit and all that. Very nostalgic feel. Got some good fresh bells and whistles though to make it seem a little more like the modern day age. But that is the shout out to our co-producer GILLY. He has done that, and again, it's 100% free. You don't need nothing. Check it out. Show him some love. And if you like what you're seeing for the show tonight, of course, the merch page is open, baby. Shop.spacecorpspodcast.com. You can get yourself some podcast merch, Stoney's TCM stuff. You can even join the Space Cadet Army. And of course, any little bit of the sales is greatly appreciated. That money goes right back into the show to help enhance it. Like buying a new GoPro that just shit the bed on me last second, which is why we're about 10 minutes late. But we're going to make it work, baby, and it's going to be just fine. So, everybody, good evening. Very excited to announce the guest on for tonight. This man is not only an artist, he is also an actor. He has been in some recent awesome movies that I want to talk about. Most recently, the Scary Movie 6. He had some time in the Stranger Things, and I want to hear about everything else this man is doing. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Charles Ecton is in the house tonight. How are you, dude?
Hey, good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I am just so glad I was able to pivot and make this work. So,
Yeah, me too. That was touch and go there for a minute.
oh, it's like sometimes I try to not get us to connect much before the show because we'll start to conversate, and I kind of go, just hold that. Like, this is what I want, on the show is to sit and, shoot the shit. But here's where it kind of bit me in the ass there. Like I said, I had this thing up and running for about an hour prior, and then all of a sudden, I think it was time for it to go. But yeah, thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely pumped. I know a lot of people have been really excited. And it was cool to see on your end too, your friends and fans of your work. Some people have been, sharing the show and all that type of stuff. So, it really kind of helps the audiences grow and connect and find each other. So, yeah, shout out to your guys for sure too, man.
Yeah, we have a big horror group, a horror con group down here.
Yeah.
A ton of people that are into horror movies and cosplaying and building stuff, and one-upping each other on some of the convention builds. It's a good group we have down here.
You're down in Georgia, right?
We're down in Georgia, yeah, right below Atlanta, but all the metro area participates in that. You go to Days of the Dead or Dragon Con and you see a group of just committed horror cosplayers. That's our
Oh, that's so cool. Are you by chance familiar with Seventh Gate Haunted House? They're up in Calhoun, Georgia. I think that's not too far from you.
It's not too far. I've heard of them. We hit Netherworld every year. Me and my wife and myself love Netherworld.
Okay.
And it's close. It's in Stone Mountain, and yeah, we try to go every year and enjoy it. It's a good one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We had I had a couple of the cast and crew on from there last year. Some great people too, and they were I just learning the Georgia geography around there, but they made a little bit of waves and had some TV exposure and some controversy, and it really helped them to grow and to the point where they kind of participate and they do this Halloween Christmas parade in the town, and it's become this big ordeal. And
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. I like I just like when the towns can really get into the Halloween aspect and things like that. Up here in Minnesota, we've got a spot that's just north of Minneapolis called Anoka, Minnesota, and they have the claim to fame that they started the tradition of trick or treating, which I think is probably bullshit, but I'm behind
Yeah.
them on that. The whole
Yeah.
town is themed Halloween 24/7. It's so cool.
I like that. That'd be
And
fun to visit.
yeah, and they just do the most extravagant parade. It's a night parade and this, and I mean it's like the whole town turns up and it's like a 3 hour parade and stuff, and it just awesome, man.
So
So
they say they came up with trick or treating, huh?
that's what they say. And I go, I don't know. And I mean, there's some when you hear the story, you go, okay, but I don't know, man. I couldn't even I don't know. I mean, when did it originate? I guess I'm not an
Who knows?
aficionado on the origin story, but I would have liked to think that was probably earlier than Minnesota times, you know?
Yeah. Well, our Dragon Con parade that we have before the big Dragon Con, we have a whole section of just horror.
Okay.
That's like they'll go by for about 5 minutes of just horror. And tomorrow, the 501st, I'm in that group. You know, the Star Wars guys.
Yeah.
We're doing the St. Patty's Day parade, and I'm the only one who screws it up and does something scary. I do a zombie stormtrooper,
Oh,
but
cool.
I put a top hat on it. So, kids are like, here comes all these nice St. Patty's people. And then they're like, what the hell's this dude? Got my face hanging out and skin. But
Oh,
hey,
man. That's awesome. I love that.
well,
I'm a big Star Wars fan from heart, just growing up. I mean, from
I'll
as early as
send
I
you
can
one.
remember, my dad always had it on the TV, you know, and I would just sit and just watch it. And we'd hit every single movie as they came out. And yeah, I'm definitely a Star Wars over a Star Trek fan. You know, it's
Same here. That's how I got into all the horror stuff, really, is joining the 501st, building a stormtrooper costume to be an official stormtrooper because I wanted to ever since I was, a little tyke.
yeah,
And then once I started building those costumes and doing events, I started seeing these other people doing horror costumes, and I'm like, man, those are badass. So I
yeah.
started trying to build them, and I always kind of wanted to one up what was out there. That's how I came up with that rolling hedge wall
Okay,
for
yeah,
Myers.
yes.
That was like I wanted a mobile prop, something that was kind of
That's
cool.
sweet.
And it's so fun to push around at Dragon Con, Days of the Dead and stuff. Because I park it, pop out, jump back behind it, roll it,
Yeah.
pop out. It's a blast, man.
Dude,
It's a
those
blast.
full on scenery type things, like the girl that comes out of the screen from The Ring, you know, like I'm sure there's a few of them out there at the con, but have you seen that, you know, where it's
That's the guy here, Josh Evans. That's his daughter. We have like
oh,
a
really?
competition on who can build the best thing. Yeah, she comes out and the static's behind there, and
Yeah.
she'll crawl right at the camera, and he's got it on wheels that mounts.
Oh,
He
cool.
builds amazing stuff. He built the well from The Ring. He would roll it around. She'd crawl out of it.
Oh, yes. God, that's cool. And, you know, it's like, especially the well, I mean, I'm not knocking people in prop making, but that's gotta be one of the more simplistic concepts and things to kinda construct, you know what I
It
mean?
is. It
Like
is. Yeah, it didn't knock him out of the water. I mean, the TV was tough because it projects the static on a
yeah.
flappy sheet, so you see the real static, and she can move it.
God, that's
And
cool.
he'll just roll it and put it there, and she's incredible. She'll come out and just absolutely screw with people, and then crawl back in. But this last just a couple weeks ago, we did Days of the Dead, and he said he's retiring it. She's getting a little. I think she's getting tired of crawling out of that damn thing.
Oh, sure. God,
Yeah.
that's funny. Once you pour your heart and soul into something like that too, it's like you're just itching to use it more than just on a con or a Halloween or something. You know, you're
Yeah.
like, you know, how can I mess with some buddies or do whatever?
Yeah. He's always building something new. I think right now he's building like the that little weird hand from Scary Movie, the little
Yeah,
strong hand.
yeah, yeah.
Well, he's building that costume right
Oh,
now.
cool.
He's crazy. He's probably watching. Josh, if you're watching, I'm going to build something better than you in a couple weeks. So I don't know.
Well, we got in the chat, we got two bigs PS. He says, what a background, Charles. Don't forget to give a shout out to your fellow Mac Z return.
Yeah, the Max Z was the battle group in Stranger Things on that big fight with the military base at night with the Demogorgons coming out,
Yeah.
and that was an amazing group of people. And getting to work on that was so cool because we trained like 2 weeks during the day with real military, teaching us how to use the weapons,
Really?
where to run, where the explosions were going to be, where the stuntmen were going to die, where the monsters were. So we practiced during the day for all that, and then when it came time to film at night, it was absolute chaos, man. It's crazy.
Oh,
You got guys flying on strings, explosions, and it was so cool to watch it because it's a one shot. The camera moves through one time, but
Yeah.
we probably filmed it over maybe 2.5 weeks because it was rough.
Whoa.
Freezing cold in the middle. We filmed all night. We'd come in the day and go home and the sun was up. It was
Jeez,
great.
man. Where did you guys film that at?
Right up here at Lakewood, it used to, by the amphitheater where they have concerts. They rebuilt that whole set is a rebuild of Jackson, Georgia, where they have that little town.
Oh, cool.
We rebuilt it so they could destroy it, and it was so cool being there. You know, it was all uber top secret. You couldn't talk about anything.
Yeah.
You know, uh, but we really had a blast. Met some great people and still talk to them all the time. We're still in chat groups and
Yeah.
because
That's so cool. How did you get lined up with that? Like, where did
now
that?
that was a trip. When I first started, when I retired, I think it was 2022, man, I was retired. I did 35 years at a water and sewer utility.
Sure.
When I was retiring, I was like, what am I going to do? You know, I don't have to get a job. I'm going to be a pensioner.
Mhm.
And then we were watching the last episode of Stranger Things season 4, and there was this old dude laying on a cot in the background. I said, I could do that shit. And I looked at my wife and I said, I wonder what that guy gets paid just laying there.
Yeah.
So I got close to retiring and I called into a casting company and said, you know, how do you get into background? I had to go down, take some pictures. Didn't think I'd hear from them. Uh, the day after I retired, they called me and wanted me on some movie just doing something in a farmer's market. And then it was easy. I just picked up some fruit, you know, walked from here to there. And I thought, man, this is a piece of cake. Got to talk to Catherine O'Hara. She came over and asked me what kind of fruit I was going to pick
Oh,
up and all this.
sweet.
So I came home and told my wife, and she's like, so you talked to Catherine O'Hara? So it's like that every day? And I'm like, I think so. And then they called me to did you ever see a show on Peacock called Hysteria? It was,
Yeah. Yep.
okay. That I'm all in that. I got picked for that, and they told me not to cut my hair, right? So
Okay.
I'm in the town hall meetings. I'm in the church scenes. I found out what it's like to be, believe it or not, when you going to be a stand-in for a bitten hand.
Yeah.
You get your own trailer. You're just sitting in the trailer with your hand reading a book. They come and knock and say, "We need hand. We need hand."
Send
And
in the hand.
so they wanted me to, because that was in the '80s, right? So they wanted me to keep my hair kind of long. Well, the casting agent said, "We got something coming up, and can you be at Lakewood in 2 days?" I didn't know what it was, so I
Yeah.
go there. I just see some trailers. They ask me, "Are you Charles?" Yeah. I go into the trailer. I sit down, and they're looking at my hair, and they're looking at some pictures. I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" And they said, "Yeah, I think you're going to be a good fit for this." And somebody next to me in the chair is going, got a dog, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to adopt a dog?" And I look over, and it's Millie Bobby Brown sitting next to
No
me in the
shit.
chair, and she's like, "Do you need a dog?" And I'm like, "Where am I?"
Ah,
And they said, "Look, we're going to use you as a body double, and we're going to start filming in about a week. Are you available?" I was like, "Yeah."
yeah.
And, so I went straight to that barn scene in Stranger Things 5 where the parent was tied up in the barn. Well,
Wow.
it's a closed set. There's no background. It's just me, two other body doubles, and all the main actors. And we were in there like 5 weeks. So
Wow.
I got to know everybody. Like I'm sitting
Oh,
on
I'm
the ground,
sure.
and my wife said one thing: just don't let Winona Ryder, you know, touch you. I said, okay, don't worry, I'll keep her off of me. It was kind of a joke. First
Yeah.
night, she's sitting next to me on the ground talking to the kid Derek, and her hands all over me and her knees on me, and she's like,
Uh,
"I'm sorry," and I'm like, "It's okay," you know. And so it was so weird. So you won't believe who directed that. So the guy who's directing it, the Duffer Brothers are there, but the director is this older gentleman, real cool, just wears all black, easygoing, would come over and talk to me. And somebody said, "Do you know who that is?" And I said, "No." "Uh, Frank." I'm like, "His name's Frank." And they're like, "Frank Darabont. You know who that is?" I'm like, "No." They said he directed Shawshank Redemption and Green Mile. I'm like,
what?
"That dude?" And he's just, so I'm working with like he's coming over going, "Is that too tight on your hands, or is the bag okay?" And I'm like, "Damn, this dude's a legend, man."
Wow.
Yeah, he directed that. They let the Duffers brought him out of retirement to direct that one episode because they're huge fans.
God, that's so cool.
That was unbelievable, man. Sitting there watching the Duffers, and to want to do that when I retired by seeing that old dude laying
Yeah.
down, and then I'm an old dude laying down. You know?
Just full circle, man.
Yeah, man, crazy.
Oh,
And
that's it's so wild that you're obviously an active fan of the show, watching it, and then stumbling into it blindly. I mean,
yeah,
God,
Totally.
wow.
And then they had me do body double for Mr. Miller, like when he got thrown through the wall, when his body's on the debris all tore up. That's I'm laying there all tore up for like 30 minutes while they moved the camera on all the debris. I got to do all these cool little jobs
Yeah.
because any tired old guy they needed to stand in or body double, I was the guy. I know.
And
And
it's funny, like, it's like, hey, just use me as like the props you hit. Send in the hand, send an old laying down guy. Okay,
that's
cool. Hey, get me out of
exactly
my trailer.
exactly. I loved it. And then one of the PAs said, "Man, you've been behind the camera so much. We're going to film this huge military scene. Do you want to be in that?" I said, "Yeah, yeah." So when they put me in that, uh, I got so lucky. I got to be in the Bloody Six, they called him, because I volunteered to be a dead body. I said, "Hey,
Okay.
man, I want to be bloody. I want to be tore up." It was one of my
Yeah.
bucket lists. So sure enough, like when you see Vecna picking Will up, I hope everybody's seen it. But
Hey, spoiler alert. Nah, you should already have watched it. Everybody,
yeah,
shame on you if you haven't.
exactly. I'm the dude laying there with his eyes open right next to him. So I
God,
got to be in
cool.
this super cool spot, and it was a dream come true, man. Every night I'd come home, my wife would say, "Tell me all about it." I could tell her, but I couldn't tell anybody else because
Yeah,
I watched the very end happen, like in
sure.
a year and a half. When all the crap happened at the portal, I was sitting there watching, going, "Oh no, now I know the whole damn end."
Yeah, yeah.
But that was really cool. That was a hell of an experience. And when you're a body double for Stranger Things, you get your own trailer. You're just chilling. They come and knock. You feel like you're actually somebody. You're just a body double.
Hey,
But
you are somebody, brother. You
yeah.
are somebody,
But
man.
I love the trailer. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, this is where I can say it now because it's so far dead. But
Yeah.
my little trailer sat right next to the Duffers where they would come out. And there was a room next to my trailer that I could access. And one day I thought, I'm sitting there bored reading a book. I looked in there and there was lined up so they could come and look at them were every storyboard for the entire season 5.
Oh, wow.
Huge storyboards with the drawings all the way across for every episode. And I started to look through them and I said, you know what? I'm not even going in this room. And I
Uh,
just shut the door back because I pictured like 8 pinhole cameras and
yeah.
helicopters. But yeah,
Yeah, right?
they were right there, man. I was like, "Oh, no, I'm wrong."
Oh, yeah, I
But
mean, I'm sure it's like that's the one thing, it's like, you're like, "Okay, this is such a cool opportunity. Don't screw it up," like, else you get
exactly.
booted out of there.
Oh, and they did. They would boot people. Some of the background, like in the school scenes, you have like 40 background. Somebody would take a picture of the hallway or a science lab and post it, and
Yeah.
they'd be gone
Oh, I'm
instantly.
sure.
I wouldn't even take my camera to the barn scenes. I was like, nope. Now the military, we did occasionally, get some cool pictures. I have some behind the scenes stuff, but that was awesome. That was a hell of an experience to get, bouncing off of hysteria to get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Now, when you're on just I mean, it's always, movie specific and all that, but do they do any kind of like I mean, obviously it's like they're not letting everybody take home a piece of the set or take home, clothes and all that's all pretty locked down. But like, did you guys get to do like kind of like a cool like a group photo or anything like that, just like a memento
Yeah.
for
I mean, the Duffer Brothers actually gifted all of us in the barn this special shirt. It had the barn, and a lot of them got sick. A lot of them aren't outdoorsy people, and I worked outdoors my whole life.
sure.
Some of those camera people and PAs, the hay got them all kind of sick. And
Okay.
it didn't bother me. I was laying in it the whole time. But they
Yeah.
made this special shirt and it had a beautiful note on it. It said, "Thanks for all you did helping out the Duffer Brothers." They gave it to me on the front. It said my name. So they gave me this shirt. And I grabbed stuff like I got grabby hands on set. Like this is when Vecna blew up that when he blew up that building, I grabbed one of the bricks that went flying over,
Oh,
So I
cool.
put the little date
Yes.
on it. And a lot of little pieces of mementos that I got, like the flyers from the graduation scene, because I stood in for the principal at the graduation scene. A lot of those I gave away to people. You
Sure.
know, I don't have much room on my shelves anymore.
Oh, what
But
a problem to have, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, but I had a blast on there, man, and it seems so surreal just working all those nights, doing all that work on there, and seeing everything happen. Oh, I got to be Demigorgon for a while. The guy couldn't make it, or he was sick, and they were going to have to not film the scene with the Demigorgon coming out of the ceiling in the kid's room. And the AD said, "Charles, you up for it?" She didn't even finish her sentence. I was like, "Damn right." And
Sign me up.
so I got to do all the motions of the while they moved the camera. I got to do all the Demogorgon pulling the mannequin out of the bed, and I was making all the sounds. And the cameraman Nick said, "We appreciate the growls and all that, but you don't have to do that shit. Just chill out." I'm like, "Man, I'm into it. I'm into it."
You can cut me out of that. You can
Yeah.
mute that audio because I am not stopping. This is
But
amazing.
man, it was unreal. It was unreal. And the stuff I got to see, the tunnels underneath. I mean, when you're body double, you get a little more in with team one than team two or background. The background people, they keep away from all the behind the scenes stuff. But when you're a
Okay.
body double, you're right there with team one because
Yeah.
you're filling in for a main actor with the other actors.
Sure. Right.
So that was just, I mean, I just looked into that, man, and it
Yeah.
was incredible.
God, man.
Incredible.
Well, dude, I mean, congratulations on a lot of things for one. I mean, like that
Yeah.
cool experience. Congratulations on retirement too. I mean, that's just got to
Oh,
be
wow. It's
amazing.
incredible. Yeah. I love it. That's you know, the helmet that we're going to talk about, that was one of my the things I always wanted to do.
Okay.
And once I retired, I said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start working on that because I wanted one since I was, 13 years old when I saw Excalibur.
Yeah.
I was like, that armor and that helmet. But sculpting that is not something you just sit down and whip up.
Oh,
It's tough.
sure.
And here's something cool. There were no pictures of it, good ones, but what's his name? Adam Savage posted some pictures from a prop store where they were selling it, the one
Oh,
original, and somebody linked me to him,
yeah.
and I got the pictures, so I was able to print them out and look at it from all the different sides and sculpt it with those. So one of the first ones I made, I met Adam at DragonCon and gave him one of the first ones I made. So Adam Savage has one of those in his office.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was really great. It even fit him. Yeah, he must have a bean head because the opening's pretty narrow.
Yeah.
Uh, I make them where they're narrow. I got one sitting right there with the memorabilia.
Well,
But
we gotta open this thing up here too because I can't believe the the kind gesture and the generosity of what you
sure,
did
man.
for me, man.
I trade them with if it's an artist I really like or somebody I appreciate, I'll gift them one, and sometimes they'll send me something back. But you're not going to believe this, Stoney. So when I first finished it, and the guy who Kyle Yaklin, he worked on all these special effects movies. I just met him at a horror convention.
Okay.
He said, if you get that thing sculpted, I'll mold it for you. And he's a professional. He said, I'll mold it in a way that you'll be able to make multiple casts. And I'm like, dude, I
Cool.
want one.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
well, no, let's just do it right. So the first one I made, I went online and I tried to find Terry English, the guy who did Excalibur's armor back in '81.
Yeah.
But he's a secretive guy. You can't. He's the armor for the queen. You're not going to get his address.
Sure.
Well, in a chat group, I got a message from his son, and his son said, "Dad would love one of those helmets."
Oh, whoa.
So he said, "Top secret. I'm going to give you Dad's address." So check this out. I get the address. I write this nice letter, why I built it, how much I love his armor, how it inspired me, and it got me into science fiction from Fangor number 11 with Excalibur.
Wow.
I mail it to him, right? About, I guess, 4 months later, I get a box in the mail from Terry English. Now, he did the armor for Aliens also, the body armor.
Oh, really?
And yeah, but check this out. He sends me this. He banged out on his anvil because he still does metal work. He made Morgana's armor, a miniature.
Oh,
Yeah. And
sweet.
yeah, and he wrote, for Charles, I made this as a thank you. Stay good and well. Truly, Terry English. He said, this is a miniature of Morgana's armor, Helen Miramore, made from the original armor from Mordred's 40 warriors. Enjoy. So he sends
Whoa.
me this, and this beautiful handwritten letter looks like 13th century or 14th. I mean, just this most beautiful letter with his phone number and says, give me a call.
Oh, cool.
And draws me this awesome little knife. Look at that little dude.
Sweet.
And just amazing, man.
That's
So
so cool.
I'm still, every time I look at this thing, I'm in total shock. I mean, So wild. Who would have thought, little 12, 13-year-old kid looking at Excalibur, I'd actually
Yes.
get a piece from the armor.
You know,
No.
there's something to be said about just kindness and gestures. I mean, just the fact of
Yeah.
you being inspired to do that and then, not expecting anything. I mean,
No.
and then just for that to be reciprocated like that. I mean, that's like the human connection of just,
Yeah.
at the core, like that's so cool.
It blew me away. And he's so cute with his handwriting. I just picture him like in a castle writing with a feather pen. And his
Yes.
handwriting looks amazing. And and I've written back to him one more time. I actually sculpted the I've been working on I'm trying to do the whole armor, but I finished the chest piece
Oh,
and
cool.
I poured it. Same guy casted it for me, Kyle. Poured it in fiberglass
Okay.
and layered it in there, so it'll fit once I finish all the pieces. And it's built off of my all the pieces are built off of my body. But my goal is to one day have a full suit of armor of Mordred standing there. But that's a long way off, man.
Well, that's all right. You've got time to focus the attention to it, and
Yeah,
at your own pace. And, that's the best thing about it. There's no hurry up. And, I mean, take years if you want.
yeah. It's gonna, but it's fun, man. I love it. That's the first thing I ever really sculpted was that helmet, and
Really?
I
Okay.
got to shout out to my wife. So I was sculpting it a lot of times in her craft room where she does her scrapbooking. I have a little table over to the side so we can work in the same room. And I would be like, "Oh, look, I just got this hair done," and she'd be like, "You know what? That's a little off." And I'd be like, "Oh, really?" And then I'd stand back and go, "Oh, she's right." So she would give me like good advice on little pieces, a little
Yeah,
perspective.
that's
So
great.
yeah, she's partially gets credit for the sculpt, especially the
Well,
nose. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's that right there too. At least you've got somebody that's engaged and cares enough about it. Or I mean, and it's I mean, my wife she just rolls her eyes at all my horror stuff and all this types of thing. Or she's like, she might sit down and watch a movie with me here and there, but she's just like, yeah, the kids, dad's chainsaw room down there. Like, first it
Oh,
was
that's
like keep
cool.
everybody away, but it's so funny.
That's I got lucky. Me and my wife met in 8th grade math class, and we've been together ever since. And
Wow.
our first dates were always horror movies.
Yeah.
And to this day, we still watch. Our first thing to look for on TV is horror movies. Last night, like we watched Primate, that monkey killer movie,
Okay.
but we were both taking turns trying to find horror movies. And funny story about Pumpkinhead back there. Can you see him?
Oh
Back
hell yeah, we can.
so you know how I guess you might be the same way. Back before the internet, all of us horror nerds, we didn't have a way to buy all the stuff we wanted. We would mask shops or costume shops or
Yeah.
somebody you knew who sculpted.
Yeah.
And then we'd look in the back of a magazine and see, this something that was amazing. But that was it, man. There was no other way to find it.
Right.
And I still have it right here. In the back of Morse catalog was this. It was for Pumpkinhead. I don't know if the glare will.
Wow. Yeah. No.
So
No. That looks good.
so they had the full size, this half one, the Walmart version, and then the standard version in the hands. Now I saw this when I was, I guess, it came out like 7 years after Pumpkinhead. And me and my wife went to Pumpkinhead as a date, so we saw
Yeah.
it in the theater. It meant a lot to me because I love the monster. Well, I always wanted that. Of course, I couldn't afford any of that crap back then, man. I just couldn't afford Coke and popcorn at the theater, you know.
Sure. Right.
So as I got older and was getting close to retiring, I was in a chat group about Pumpkinhead and I was talking about that. And out of the blue, this dude from Chicago sends me a private message and says, "Hey, man, when those first came out, I have one. And it's in my basement. Sunlight's never hit it. It's in perfect shape. Problem is, you're in Georgia and I'm in Chicago."
Yeah.
And he said, "But if you're willing to drive up here and get it, it's yours." Now, that's Georgia to Chicago, man, you know?
Yeah.
And he's, it's costing a lot too, besides that. So this is my wife in a nutshell. I walked in and said, "Hey, there's a guy in Chicago and he's got the life size pumpkin head." And she goes, "Ooh, I've always wanted to go to Chicago."
Yes.
That was it.
Yes.
And I bought it that night, and she planned this incredible trip. So we go up. It was during COVID too. So we do all the museums. We stay at we have a blast. And then we go over to this house. And I drive from Chicago to Georgia with the wrapped up pumpkin head in the back of my truck
Oh,
with the arms sticking out going down the road.
that's so
Uh,
cool.
yeah, man, and they're hard to find in that kind of shape because
Oh,
they're
I bet
so
it looks beautiful.
yeah, they're so old. And that one, there's really nothing wrong with it. It's a little creepy sometimes, you come in at first and forget it's there,
Yeah.
but I love it. It's something I always wanted. Do you have like a grail item, something you always wanted?
You know, I definitely have a few different ones. I've got obviously I'm a big Texas Chainsaw
Yeah.
Massacre guy. My most just coveted piece. I've got this old 1950s chainsaw. It's monstrous and it's signed by I've got it up to 21 different cast members from the various TCM movies.
Wow.
And on the front of the bar, the biggest one like a John Hancock is Gunnar Hansen right on it. I mean, it's just like it was a dream of mine to own that. It came from the Landon Lee collection, which Landon Lee was one of the most well-known, largest TCM collectors, and he passed away. And his whole estate basically went up for sale, and a lot of auctioneers kind of came into to help because all that was covering funeral costs and all this type of stuff. But this chainsaw became it was bought by a friend of mine by the name of Eric Crimmins. He does Eric's Secret Stash, a live horror auction. The most kindest, gentlest Southern gentleman you've ever meet. Him and his wife do this, and it's just they're beautiful people. And one night he kind of, as you do these live auctions, there's a little bit of banter, and you're
Yeah.
talking in between this stuff, and we're all in the comments, and we're kind of prying, hey, take something off the good shelf back there. No, 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 not tonight. And then he made mention one night. He goes, I got this chainsaw, and we're like, excuse me, and he goes, yeah. And so for a couple of months or so, we'd start to work on him. Hey, show the chainsaw. Nah, nah, guys. And then finally one night he was feeling good, and he goes, look, if you guys stick around after the auction, I'll pull it down and I'll show you guys. And so I was waiting with my phone, and as soon as he started showing it, I'm screenshotting and just click, 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 as he's so by the time I finally got to start prying at it, I told him, I said, this is everybody that's on that chainsaw. He goes, how in the hell did you know that? And, then my reputation for the TCM collecting. And he goes, brother, if I ever decide to part with it, he goes, I couldn't think of anybody else that would, a better place to go. And about like probably a year and a half later, the time finally came and I got it.
Wow.
So it was a grail in the fact that one, it came from somebody that we knew, we really admired. It had some sentimental value to it. Two, it then got into the hands of a great friend of mine. And, to collect to me, I mean, I definitely have bought my fair share of stuff off eBay and whatever. But when it's the person to person, when I can look at these pieces and I go, I got that from Johnny, like that I got from my homie Gilly, it means so much more to
It
me.
does. I agree.
So
Yeah.
that's a few of them, but I mean, definitely now over the years, I've gotten some really amazing pieces that I just couldn't even imagine were even out there, one of a kind stuff. But that's definitely one right at the heart. That's like I'll probably be buried with it, or I'm thinking I'd probably be entombed in this room now. I just
Yeah.
slap a Leatherface mask over me and put me in the corner, and
Yeah.
one of the kids have got to like this stuff, but
Yeah, eventually.
that's the
That's
hope.
I'm
It's
with you on that. So many pieces. Like I was a huge Thing fan, and I always wanted the Norris head, and nobody really made one that looked good. And
yeah.
one day I was talking to somebody about props. I think they were talking about the pumpkin head. They were like, "Let me buy your pumpkin head." I'm like, "Nope, can't do it." And then they're like, "I've got a 1-to-1 Norris head from the Thing," and I'm like, "No way." So he
Yeah.
sent me a picture, and I'm like, "Are you willing to part with it?" And he said, "No." And like that gentleman did a couple weeks later, he said, "Okay." And he was
Yeah.
in freaking England. I'm
Oh,
like, "Oh man," he didn't even tell me. So I ended up buying it. It looks great. I love that thing. I want to figure out a way to put wheels under it and drive it around like a crab at conventions.
yes.
I have
Yes.
I have the remote control. I put the face hugger from Aliens on an RC car and I drive it around conventions on the floor.
Yeah.
But it turned into a little bit of a trip hazard at Dragon Con. I about killed a few people, so quit doing that.
Well, and that was the thing too when I started bringing that to the conventions. Luckily, up here in Minneapolis, it's a lot more lax on the security and stuff because it's still got the chainsaw blade, around the bar,
Oh,
and but just lunking this big thing around. I mean, it's heavy, and everybody's packed in like a concert as you're walking around. So I'm like, just pointed down and just like, really trying to be mindful because I'm like, God, if I just cut somebody or, whatever, I would just feel terrible
So
about
you're
that.
just plopping that down in front of them to sign at their
Dude.
table?
And just for that shock value too of like, I mean, obviously like the Powell chainsaw from the original is what you really want to have. And I have those and whatever, but this is just, I mean, it's so much bigger and you put that on that table and it's just thump, and it's like, holy cow, to me, that's what I really like and enjoy as being a collector when I go to these conventions is like to kind of wow that guest, where it's like, here's all these 8x10s. I've signed that. Here's the figure. But for them to also stop and be like, where did you get that?
Yeah.
I had Ken Forey. He wanted to buy this poster actually right here.
Yeah.
I've now got my background, all my favorite things, but he had never seen this Mondo poster before, and I fell in love with it, the blues and the reds. And he's like, I've never seen that before. I'm like, how have you never seen it? Like, there's 100 or something made. And he goes, let me buy that from you. And I said, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm like, I cannot sell this, And he's just like, man, and I was like, yeah, that's right,
Now sign it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, please do. Oh, we
That
had a couple other people here in the chat too. I got to give it a little shout out. So, I hope I'm saying it right, but Ola Bergsman says that Charles, you've got a piece of Hunger Games set somewhere too. That's got to be one of your homies. And then
Yeah.
and then he also said earlier in the show, he said, "You're too short for a stormtrooper."
Oh, that's we get that all the damn time, man. It's no matter how tall you are. Oh, crazy. My funniest autograph was I was at Dragon Con and I had the rolling hedge wall and I was having a blast and they said, "Hey, William Shatner's here." And I'm like, "William Shatner." He doesn't sign the Myers mask that often. He's like,
Right.
screw that. I didn't get any money from that,
Yeah.
you know. And he's funny anyway. Well, I thought I'm gonna try. So
Yeah.
I had Starlog. I put it up. I had it up there. I had Starlog with him on the cover. And I said, okay, I'm gonna try to get him to sign that and then the mask. So I came in, they're going down the line and he goes, "Oh, this is the first magazine cover I was on." And he goes, "Thanks for bringing this." And he's smiling and he signs it. And then they hand him the mask and he looks at me like, "You mother." And he kind of sits back and he goes, "Where do you want me to sign it?"
Oh,
And
cool.
it was my dead ringer that I was wearing. I said, "Just sign it on the neck." So he signs it pretty good, William Shatner. And I go out and I'm so excited, I got William Shatner to sign it. Well, then I thought, damn, he's got a photo op. I wonder if I could get a photo op with the hedge wall. And I went and asked, and they said, you can't get that thing in there. It's this narrow area. And then one of
Yeah.
the people at the table had seen me and said, "I think it would be freaking hilarious. Let's give it
Yeah.
a try." So I come rolling in. There's like 50 people. I've got this huge prop. I'm wearing a Myers mask, coveralls. Everybody in line's got their Star Trek stuff, and they're all looking
Yeah.
at me like, "What the?" And security comes up and says, you can't, you're not going to be able to take that in there." And then his people come out and go, "No, no, 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 no. We want him to go in there with that. We want to see what
Oh,
he does."
sweet.
So I wait through the line and they said next. I come around the corner and he looks at me in front of everybody. He goes, "What the fuck?"
Uh,
And I wheel it over and I stand next to him. And he's looking at me like shaking his head. And then he looks at the camera and goes, "Let's do this." And
nice.
he takes the picture smiling with me with the hedge wall. Then I rolled the son of a bitch out. And that's my favorite picture with him with the hedge wall because he's
How
just
could that
like,
not be? Oh
yeah.
my God. How cool, dude.
And Fangoria on their webpage, they put shout out to Charles Ecton and his hedge wall with William Shatner, and they had the picture of us there. I was like, "Yay, I'm in Fangoria."
That is killer, man.
Yeah, he didn't look happy, but he
Well,
did it.
he's a good sport, and I mean, what a great, just lively guy. Still good spirited to him, still loyal to the fans, and
Oh
I
yeah,
just, I big, definitely a big shout out to him, man. That's
he's in
that's so
upper.
appreciated.
Yeah, he's in his 90s now. I think he's like 92 or something, and
Yeah,
he's still going, doing stuff, talking, doing hosting different events. He's amazing, but
I thought I
yeah.
just heard something that he's doing something heavy metal related. Did you hear this?
Might be, he does get music. He takes different genres and sings.
Okay.
And he might be doing something metal. Yeah, kind of like Tony Bennett did,
Yeah.
back in the day or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's so cool. Steve reads in the chat. He says all this is freaking awesome. He said about the Stranger Things too. He said season 5 of Stranger Things was awesome. One of my favorite shows on Netflix too. So
Yeah, and I was so blessed. I tell you who's cool is the guy who plays Vecna, Jamie. You know, he's in full character, and that's his real voice now. They're not synthesizing that. When he's on
really,
set, he's using that voice because I was having to stand there, I would lay there, and when they would roll, I had to have my eyes open. Once I screwed up and had my eyes open for the first shot, I had to do it every time because I'm right there.
oh
And after a while, he just leaned over and he goes, with that voice, he said, "You got a really good dead face." And I said, I'm just tired, man. And he goes, "I hear you, brother." And
ah,
it's just this Vecna. I'm like, I'm talking to Vecna. And he's when he speared the dude through the back, that was the guy crawling right next to me. So I was watching all that, like, what the hell is going on? But I can't move, you know. And every night they would cover me in the same exact blood, the same. So it was a trip. You
yeah,
know, it's 32 degrees. You're covered in blood, laying there for 6 hours on a steel plate.
sure.
So yeah.
It ain't glamorous and easy. It reminds me I had C. Ernst Harth on quite a long time ago. He played the great child in 13 Ghosts. He was one of the ghosts.
Okay.
And he's been in a lot of other things too. I mean, God, that guy's a lifelong career, but he was also in the Trick or Treat movie, like Sam Trick or Treat.
Oh,
And
really?
and he was in the last scene where all the witches were in the woods there dancing around the fire, and then they all start getting naked and and topless and all that. He's one of the guys that's like laying like dying on the ground or something, and he's like, I was not able to open my eyes. And he goes, "Do you understand how hard it was with those beautiful women around me, danced around topless?" And he goes, because he opened his eyes a little bit. And one of the directors like, "Hey," like just caught
Yeah.
him. And
Yeah.
he's like, hardest thing in my life, And I just go, man, I got definite respect for, the side parts like that where
It
it's
could
like,
be
you,
crazy. I mean, I love my profile picture on Facebook is me laying face down on the wood floor in the hallway where the parents were drugged so they could kidnap and get them out of the house.
yeah,
And I had to lay on the floor face down in the wood, hands straight, face like this, so they could reblock the cameras to make sure it was good. I bet I laid there, hour on and off. And one of my buddies took the picture and sent it to me. It's like, that's really good work, man. Some of your best work. Like, hey, man, I have a gift. I can just lay there. I love it.
Oh man. Well, like you say, like in the beginning, you're like, I could do that, and it's like, yes, you can, and you did it. So there you
I
go.
do. It was great. And now I get, I only pick and choose. I love to do, uh, if they send me something for a horror movie, I'm game. And I'll tell
Yeah.
you, the Exorcist that is it David Gordon Green? He did the new Halloweens, the 3 Halloweens that
Oh,
came out.
sure.
So I go down to this. I knew it was Blumhouse, and they do horror movies. So I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go for this one." But they said they wouldn't tell you what it was.
Yeah.
So we get there, and we're they wanted us to dress kind of nice. And before we went in, they said, "Look, this is a a church scene. This is for the Exorcist remake. You're all going to be in the church, and the girl's going to come down possessed, screaming the body in the blood. And if you want to leave because it messes with your religion,
Yeah.
we'll pay you and you can leave." So everybody was leaving. I'm like, "Oh hell no, I'm in, baby." I said, "Take me in." So I go in and I look over, and there's Christopher Nelson standing there, the special effects guru who does
Yeah.
all the killer stuff. He does the podcast with Sean Clark thing with two heads.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, I love this dude's work. He did all the new Myers mask. He did all the kills, and I'm like, I want to talk to this guy, but I'm filming this. I'm sitting there in the scene, and here comes the girl, and it's incredible watching her do all those scenes. And I broke the golden rule, man. We got up to go to lunch, and I said, I'm going to talk to freaking Christopher Nelson.
Yeah.
And I walked over and said, "Dude, I'm a huge fan. I love your work." And he said he just started talking like we knew each other. So
That's
nice,
cool.
man. He he blew me away at how nice he was, and I gave him some of my hedge wall stickers. And then it wasn't 4 weeks later at Days of the Dead, I'm rolling the hedge wall, and somebody taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around, and it's him and the big producer for Blumhouse, and they're like, "We love the hedge wall, man." And I've got all these great pictures with them peeking around my hedge wall. I'm like, man, Another dream, who would have thought I get to meet Christopher Nelson?
Exactly.
I know.
It, it,
Crazy.
the magic of the conventions, the magic of the internet and everything. I say it all the time. I just, for me starting this is just a fun thing for me to do, leisure.
Yeah.
I mean, I got kids, I got a wife, I got a full-time job. I mean, I'm busy, and for me just to have one time each week I can dedicate to, like, this is my time, and doing my collecting, and then all of a sudden, it turns into this, and I get to talk to people like you. I mean, me as a TCM fan, I've had, you saw Perry Lawrence was on.
Yeah, you've
I
had
mean,
some good folks.
dude, from, the original, Alan Danziger, John Dugan. I mean, I've had Leatherfaces, I've had, Andrew Bernard. It's just, to me, I'm just like, man, I can't even believe it, when I look back at all this stuff now, and just
It's
like,
wild, man. People love this stuff, and I think Connor Patrick, when you had him on,
yes,
he
yeah,
said he didn't want to dig on the new Halloween movies because a
yeah,
lot of us are old school. We like 70s and 80s,
yeah,
and anything the remakes and all that. We kind of frown upon, but we watch them. But we don't want to crap on them because this new generation of people that are seeing those as their original horror movies, they're not
yeah,
watching all the 80 ones. To them kind of look funny now. To us, they're the Bible because they were
right,
the only one. So the new Scream, some of these people see a new horror movie and it's Scream 7 and they think that's the best movie they've ever seen.
yeah.
And I'm old school. I'm like, The Fog, Phantasm, you know, I saw I got ruined as a kid on horror movies because if I didn't get too muddy, ruined clothes out playing in creeks, my mom would let me pick a movie every Friday night. And
Hmm.
remember the newspapers, you'd cut out the big advertisements, they were like posters.
Oh, sure.
I would take her, I'd say, this is called Halloween. I'm 8 years old. She's like, I'll take you. So she would buy my ticket and she'd let me go and she'd go do something else. And I would just sit there as this teeny little kid.
No
And
shit.
I saw Halloween, Phantasm, and The Fog all as, before I was 12 by myself in the theater. And man, I couldn't sleep with the lights off, but I loved horror movies. Loved them. I loved him. And that's how I got so fascinated with Tom Savini, just his work.
Yeah,
Back then. Did you see I just got to meet him dressed up as the guy from Cropsey?
I did see that. Yes.
Yeah, and that's Kyle Hukalak up in Canada. He does all the incredible uh, Jason sculpts, he's an incredible dude. On Instagram, Hukalak's his last name, Huculak.
Hmm.
Dude's amazing. I even sent him I shipped that Pumpkinhead bust. Alec Gillis sculpted that. I shipped that to Canada for him to paint because
Really?
he's that good.
Oh, cool.
And he made that Cropsy mask. And when I walked up to Tom, he was like, "Where do I know you from?" And I said, "It's a movie called The Burning." And he said, "Yeah, no shit." But he said, "No, where do I know you from?" And I said, I sent you the Mordred helmet. I sent one to him as a thank you for all the work he's done.
Really?
And I said, "Yeah, I sent one to Jason Baker and you." And he goes, "Did you?" And he pulls his phone up. He calls and he goes, "Hey, Jason, the Mordred guy's here." And he hands me his phone. I'm like, "Hey, Jason, uh, how you doing, man?" And he said, he does all the masks for WWE, all the cool ones you see when they come out, all
Yeah.
the wrestling masks."
Cool.
So I'm like, how weird is this? I'm standing at a convention talking to Jason Baker on Tom Savini's phone.
That's
This
wild.
is like it's so surreal. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I should have taken the phone and sprinted out of the building. You know? But yeah, it's just so weird, man. That cool stuff. And I got Tom signs everything, and he's a nice guy. But he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's a curmudgeon. He's just a little over it sometimes. Like
Yeah, you got to catch him on the right times, I hear,
yeah,
But I mean, whatever, man. That guy's a fucking legend. I say you be
legend, man.
grumpy if you want. Who
Hell
cares?
yeah. And even Jason, once I saw him and Jason together, and Jason said, "Yeah, he's in a mood today." I was like, "Oh, that's funny." I have a good video of him laughing at the hedge wall when I rolled by. He
Yeah.
was like, "What the hell is this shit?" I was like,
Nice.
"Yeah."
That's awesome.
So you're right though, man. These conventions and costuming and collecting, you really get to meet people you grew up just
Yeah.
never thought you'd get to meet
No,
ever.
it's so cool. And the other plug on what makes me so grateful for doing this is, like, you know, I mean, I've said it before, like I'm up here in Minneapolis, so at least our conventions are smaller. I mean, it's smaller, guess it's not the big star or whatever, but it's a lot less people where you're not standing in line for 9 hours to get an autograph, and then you finally get up there and you've got, a small allotted amount of time to, hey, how you doing? Quick small talk, picture and go. You got 1,000 people behind you, where it's like this we get to talk for an hour, man. Or we get to talk for whatever. I mean, it's just like it's just so much more cooler and meaningful to me. But then now, I mean, once I take myself out of the picture, people that are fans, they're also these are stories. These are amazing. Perry last week. I mean, it's like the stories you get to hear about behind the sets. Nobody's heard those before, and
No,
it's like now it's forever. It's available for people that care, and I think that's super cool.
I loved listening to him. He was like, he didn't think it was going to be a big deal at all. He's just
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm driving a truck,
Right.
a pickup." It's like no big deal. And then he's part of this huge cult following, just
Yeah.
the whole all around the world. He could probably go to almost any country in the world to go into a restaurant or bar, and somebody would say, "You were in what?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've seen
Yep.
you." Yeah,
Well, and too, and just for an idea of like something that he did, 50 years ago, to all of a sudden kind of like catch wind and be like, wait, this is still a thing, and like you
yeah.
said, he went to a convention, he was just blown away by like all these people are here to see me. Yes, he's like, I didn't do shit. Doesn't matter. They
Doesn't
want
matter.
you.
You're part of it.
It's
And
it.
like being a huge Pumpkinhead fan and a collector, I mean, there's not a lot out there for Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
A couple
Right.
companies,
Right.
but my favorite piece besides the big boy is Don Post Studios. Right before they went out of business, the last thing they were making was the Pumpkinhead bust with two hands, and
Mm,
I think they made 13 or 14 of them, and they just went out to costume shops as a display,
sure.
and then they went out of business. So I could never find one. I looked and looked and looked, and here again, a guy hits me up and he says, "Hey man, I've got one, and I've only got the left hand." I don't know where the right hand is. It was a display in this store, and I
Yeah.
just kept it when the store shut down. And I said, "Man, I'm all over that." And it still has the Don Post tag hanging on it. So
That's cool.
yeah, that's old school. It's like I don't know a single person that's ever walked into my little office and said, "Man, I like your Pumpkinhead collection." Everybody's like, "So what's wrong with you, man?"
No way, man. We all dig it, dude. Everybody's
Yeah,
digging it in the chat there. Hey, so I just out of respect here too. I don't want to belittle this. We got to show everybody what
yeah, man.
what the heck you've hooked up for me, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I don't know what I need to do to send back to you to make this right, because in my head this is like, dude, this is so nice, so kind, and I mean, I think it's amazing. And now knowing that, I thought you just make masks and some things too,
Mm.
in your leisure, but this is literally the only. How many of these have you made?
About 83, and I've
Okay.
sold. I was selling them on my Etsy store. I didn't look, man. I didn't know people were going to go nuts for Excalibur. I knew I was obsessed with it
Yeah.
as a kid. The armor and the. But once I made it and people saw that I had it, I started getting just a list of people saying I need one. So I bet I've sold probably 53 of them or so.
Cool.
But I give them to artists and people I respect. It's just so fun. I love to surprise people. Oh, there it is. It looks good. Coming. It's not broken.
No,
Thank
she's
you.
looking gorgeous. Well,
Thank
you
you.
wrapped it like a pro too, and that's always one thing when I do unboxings. That's one of the main critiques is how do these people package their things? Because there's some people that just get a clue, but you can tell you this was a
Really,
labor
man.
of love here.
I have gotten some stuff I've ordered that looks like they just threw it in a box and kicked it out the door.
Right, give it to Ace Ventura to go deliver, and you're like, oh great, thanks. Especially when it's something you've been looking forward to, and that how heartbreaking is that.
Yeah.
But this ain't the case. God, it's so much it's so much bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's gorgeous,
Ah,
man.
looks good. Yeah.
And again, apologies to everybody that my GoPro shit the bed. I know that on this webcam, my quality is not that great. I will definitely be putting up pictures of all this and stuff. I'll edit it into the show as well. But oh my god, it's beautiful,
It
man.
looks good. I personalized it in there for you too.
Oh, cool. Let's take a look here. This is so awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Sure, man. I I love seeing somebody get one. I gave one to Sean Clark and Christopher Nelson, and they unboxed it on their podcast.
Really?
And they both tried to put it on, and it sat on top of their head like a little beanie. It wouldn't even move.
It's probably gonna be the same with me here.
Yeah, but you can't. If you did want to wear it, you can Dremel the inside. But it's just a great display piece.
Yeah. Oh man. God, thank you so much.
Sure, man.
Here, I made sure I had a little stand here so we can pop that guy right on there.
Hey, it looks cool. I still love that helmet. Ah, look at you.
Make sure I got it in the shot here for everybody too. Dude, so sweet. I mean, how did that feel to you when it was finally done and the first one was cast? Like,
I couldn't believe it. I was so nervous taking it to be cast. You know, it was in clay, monster clay. You know,
yeah,
that wouldn't dry. And when I took it to Kyle, and he lives pretty far away, north side of Georgia. Uh, you know, he does life size stuff. He's done Creature from the Black Lagoon that he can swim in. I mean, this dude, this kid's amazing. I call him a kid.
whoa,
He's not. He's amazing. He has a full Guyver. You know that movie, The Guyver? The
yeah,
movie's a piece of crap, but the armor looks incredible. He built that one to one. He sculpts Godzilla heads that are huge. Just he's such
whoa,
an artist, and
that's so
so
cool.
you would never know it. He doesn't even tell anybody. He's just this humble little guy. But when I handed that off to him, I had to leave it, you know, and it was like 4 weeks. And man, every night I was sweating it. I was like, oh God, what if he drops it? Or because
Yeah,
he said it can get ruined. And the mold, I'll show you this thing he built. I mean, if people are familiar with molds, that's how many I've done.
oh,
But
cool.
it is just a piece of art the way he built this thing.
Yeah,
And you know, I've learned how to cast them. I do that little slush mold, you know.
yeah,
It's a little workout. And then when I get them, I've got two ready. When they come out, they're nowhere near like that one. They've got all these pieces here. I have to Dremel out all that, the eyes, any little imperfections, anything in the
wow,
top. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but so far I haven't once been bored doing it. I just love looking at them. You
yeah,
know, it's just so cool to have Mordred's helmet, you know, from my one of my favorite movies.
dude. Someone's asking in the chat, have y'all seen the new 4K UHD Blu-ray transfer of Excalibur?
Oh, this one?
This one right there, this old thing.
Yeah, it's incredible, and it's got Arrow just released it. It
Yeah,
is amazing, and
it's got a
so
good shot of the helmet in there too, doesn't it?
it does, yeah,
In
in
the
the little
book.
paperwork in the
Yeah.
book. I've got the book in there I was reading, but it's beautiful. It's even prettier than when I watched it the first time in the theater, and it's
Wow.
got some killer interviews with John Borman
Cool.
and all the people that were in it. You know that he picked that are now like Liam Neeson, Neeson, all those people that we know that was their first movie. He picked it
Yeah.
off of doing stage work to go do the movie, you know.
That's so sweet.
But oh, it is incredible. I highly recommend that from Arrow. They should have put a little URL to my store on there
Yeah, they should have. Sure should have.
But yeah, you know, I love making them, but sometimes I gotta say, like, an order will come in and I'm like, oh God, here goes 2 more hours outside dremeling and then, you know,
Yeah.
painting. But until I get bored with it or the mold goes, I'll keep making them. I just love it. Just love
Well,
it.
it's
Yeah, it
very
looks
obvious and just the whole sculpt and everything too. I mean, you put your time and love into this thing, man. It's so beautiful.
yeah, I love it.
I'm gonna be finding a great spot for it in here too. I'm already excited about it. That's the other thing now too, is like, it was the TCM museum, but now it's like it's morphing into me, and my
Yeah,
experiences and my connections and things. And again, to me, I'm so sentimental on that type of stuff. So it's like this is, it really means a lot to me, man. I just can't
sure,
say it
man.
enough.
Awesome. Yeah, and you know, Fangoria number 11. The cover was Funhouse, that
Yeah.
incredible creature from Funhouse. And then I flipped through to page 6 or 7, and there's this Excalibur spread with the armor. And I went straight into the kitchen and said, Mom, I want to go see this movie Excalibur. Now, look, that was 1981. That from his letter, he said he did the armor in 79,
Oh
two
wow.
years before the movie.
Really?
Yeah, it says, yeah, that was me in 1979 at Broy Studios. He says, come see me in lovely Cromwell if you're ever on this side of the pond. Yeah. I just zip over to England all the time, but
Yeah, yeah.
that would be cool to go hang out with him. Man, he's a legend, man. Uh,
You go to the wife, you're like, "Hey, what do you think about England?" "Well, I've always wanted to go there,
she
just like
would
the
she would
Chicago thing." "All right, cool."
she would probably say, "Let's go.
Let's
Let's
do
go."
it.
She's not into like dressing up but she is into horror movies and she supports any of my hobbies. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Hey,
But I don't know if I mentioned it to you or if you know, but being in the 501st, I got lucky to be selected by Lego Masters, the TV show.
okay.
Season 5, episode 1, they were filming it in Georgia, and Lucasfilm contacted our group, and they wanted a New Hope Vader and 4 stormtroopers, and I have a New Hope Vader that I do for the 501st, so I got to be on TV on Lego Masters as Darth Vader, coming out from the smoke and down the stairs,
That's so
and do
sweet.
and doing the dialogue. And I love. I have it saved, and I watch it all the time. I'm like, there I go. And, so I got to point and do dialogue with Will Arnett, and then they dubbed over like the James Earl voice over me.
Yeah.
I got to be like, destroy those planets. It
Oh,
was so cool. And I'm in the full, my armor. I'm uh, that stuff's getting tough to keep wearing.
sure.
Tomorrow I'll be. I'll show you the top hat. I got it. Since it's a Death Trooper, I'm able to see. He's pretty gross,
Oh, cool, dude.
but he's a cool. So what I do
Wow.
I bolt on this helmet
Yeah.
and you can still see through it. But since he's a death trooper, I can mess it up and drill through it and everything.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm wearing this tomorrow, I'll have a cane and I kind of walk like a pimp, kind of like pimp trooper. Everybody else looks really pretty. Their armor's beautiful. They got like a shamrock on their helmet, and then here comes this, and I'll be like, yeah, I love it, man. I've been doing that. I just love doing the zombie trooper.
Well, I think it's so cool with your appearances in these movies and everything because you obviously you didn't set out to become a career actor, or
No,
whatever. I mean, it's just these have
no,
just kind of I'm not gonna say fallen in your lap. I'm not trying to downplay that, but it's
that's
just kind of just happened to be right place, right time, right
exactly.
hobby.
Yeah, tired old guy. They love me, and I look like somebody from the '80s. When I was on that movie they just did Saturday Night Live SNL, I was one
Yeah.
of the smoking guys in the front. And when I went in to get my hair done, they said, "We don't even have to do anything. You look like a 1970s weatherman." I'm like, "Is that good?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, is that good?" But yeah, I say I get lucky all the time. My wife says, "No, you show up early, you do your job well, you've got a
Yeah.
good reputation." But I do
Sure.
feel luck has to fall a little bit in it because to be seen on Hysteria by a casting agent and then sent to Stranger Things is
Yeah.
that's right place, right time.
Well, and then how does the scary movie the new scary movie
Oh,
play into that?
so Scary Movie, the the casting company asked me if I was willing to wear I guess they know I'm in, Star Wars group and all. Am I willing to do a scene wearing a mask for extended hours? And I was
Hmm.
like, oh hell yeah. I was hoping maybe I'd be like, goofball, the Scream Killer or whatever, Ghostface.
Sure.
So I go down for my fitting, and I sign my NDA and all this stuff because I can't talk about it. And I go around the corner and I see Hard Eyes, and I'm like, oh okay, because that the movie was okay. I mean, it was cool. He kind of iconic, and Connor Patrick made the cool jacket that he wore, a custom
That's
one. And
sweet.
I'd seen that jacket and I'm like, that's actually pretty cool. Well, they said, we want you to be Hard Eyes. And I'm like, oh, I'm down for that.
That's
And
cool.
so when we get there, I get fitted in it. We go there and we're on this, it's in the trailer, so I can talk about it, but I can't, anything outside of the trailer, I can't talk about. But
Fair enough, absolutely.
we're in there. We've got a Leatherface, we've got a Myers, we've got a Kruger, we've got almost every icon lined up. But because my hard eyes would flash red, they actually were wired electronically.
Yeah.
That when the subway lights would go out, the director was like, "That looks cool as shit. Let's get a lot of
Cool.
shots of this guy." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, baby.
So I'm hanging on this rail. We're not really moving, man. We're
Yeah.
we're we're making it look like we are hanging on the rail in the
Yeah.
subway car. And then here comes that Megan doll, and she does this whole awesome dance routine down the
Yeah.
thing. It was so cool to see her doing that live. This girl, they'd say, "Can you do a front flip?" She can't see anything. She'd go, sure. She'd figure out we're pitch black doing just flips, anything. This girl was so amazing. I don't know what
That's cool.
shoot, but being in that scene and then watching at the end all the stabbing going on, and that's in the trailer too.
Yeah.
And they're killing all the pronouns and all this. They're like it's it's so beyond politically correct. It's going to really ruffle some feathers, but I think
Yeah.
it's going to be one of the better ones.
No, that's
This-
good.
That last one was okay, but this one, the scenes I saw being filmed, I was really a fan of. They seem pretty funny.
Sure. Well, and I think in our my buddy Gilly, who's the co-producer guy here too, he was saying that, the last couple of them, I don't think the Wayans brothers had anything to do with it. It was, whatever,
Yeah,
company or some shit like that. So it's like I think it lost a lot of, their,
it
charm
did.
to it.
It
And
did because they were very involved in this. They were all every scene. They're right there, and they're
cool.
talking to you like, and they would hold the door for you. Those guys treated everybody with the same respect. If you were the lead actor, background, a guy in a mask, they were so cool to see on set.
That's excellent.
I loved the way they acted, and they were very involved, and they were cracking up at some of the stuff, and so they're very involved in this. And of course, in the trailer, you can see them; they're all back. So that's
Yeah.
this is they're back again.
Absolutely. And already, just the whole internet buzz about it too, where they're just, we're canceling cancel culture and we're not going to apologize for this. And we want it offensive. And it's just like, there's so many of us that go, yes, it's like the breath of fresh air, the pendulum swinging backwards where it's like, it's
Yeah,
okay to make fun of people again. It's just like, it's
yeah,
okay,
it's
guys.
comedy. It's
Yes.
comedy, and comedy is an ugly business.
Yeah.
Comedy is like smart sarcasm that you laugh at.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to do very well. Since I was in that scene, we'll probably go see it at the theater. I love
Sure.
doing that. Like if I'm in something,
Oh,
like
yeah.
when we went to see The Exorcist, I was so excited. I'm like, here comes the church scene, and the camera's panning down. It's an eight. We saw it in IMAX,
Yeah.
and the
Oh,
camera's panning
cool.
down, and I go, there I am from behind, and I go, oh my god, I got a bald spot, and it's just, and my wife goes, yeah. I said, oh shit, I found out on IMAX. I had no idea. I never looked at the back of my head, and she said, no, it's just thinning. But from that IMAX coming from behind me, I was just like, oh my god.
No, there's some glare. God damn it, there's
Yeah,
glare.
I had no idea, man. But it's so cool, man. Like Will Trent films right down the street. It's a little one of those little crime dramas, and I'm an orderly on there. Like anytime they need somebody pushing a wheelchair or
Yeah.
pushing a bed with somebody on it, I'm the hey, are you available for orderly? I go same scrubs, same shoes, and I'm doop doop doop. You got to take a body to the morgue. I'm taking it. That's me.
Got it.
And I think I'm there next week doing it again. But man, Stoney, I had a bucket list, right? I wanted to be dead body. I wanted to be janitor. I wanted to be a autopsy victim, and all those little. I was only signing up for stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell was that? But so far, I'm getting pretty close
You're
down
getting
the
further
list.
along.
Yeah, Janet. I want to be. Do you remember an old movie called? I think it's Saturday the 14th. Old movie.
Does
You
not
might
ring a bell. No.
you might not have seen it, but there was a janitor in there that was real goofy, and I was like, I want to be that janitor,
Yeah.
but haven't had a chance yet. But I will. One day I'll be a janitor on the screen.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It's coming soon. Well, and it's just like you said. I mean, with your luck and what, or, not luck, but just your
It is.
happen to how it folds. This ain't the end of it by any means. Like it's just
Yeah.
wild.
I mean, that's a guy can dream to be a janitor on TV, right?
Every time I think about the janitor, I always think about like I was such a sucker for Joe Dirt and just
Yeah,
the
me too.
oh man.
So
Uh,
so even the electricians on set. Now you said you're an electrician, right? Are you work in an electrical field?
yeah, but I'm a tool manager, so I'm not a union electrician, but I serviced 1,000 whining electricians, so I definitely know them in and out.
Yeah, and that's really one of my favorite parts of this whole thing when I'm on set is how these pieces move and how it all works and watching like the electricians and or the lighting guy or the Apple box guy. I mean, it's just so cool being on the backside of that
Yes,
and seeing it. And I respect that industry so much. It's not easy.
right.
It's not easy. Those guys, they're busting their ass, and they'll get a little credit that comes up at the end, but man, they can be rough on each other. It can get pretty ugly there trying to make something happen that fast.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's very cool to watch.
Well, and especially when people aren't in that skill set and they're just looking at you like, make it work. Come on, make it work. It's like you don't understand what some of this takes to go into it, and
Oh
something's
yeah,
malfunctioning. Also, for just somebody to MacGyver it on the spot and make it go, it's they're the unsung heroes sometimes. It's like,
oh
okay, good,
yeah,
it's going now. Now roll it.
yeah. Somebody said that some of the directors only comment when you do something bad.
Yeah,
Good is what they expect.
right.
Yeah, so that's kind of a thankless job, and that'd be tough for some people. But and general background is like that. If you're in like, you see a mall scene, you've got 80 people.
Yeah,
Those people are being herded like cattle, and it can get
sure,
a little bummed out for them, and it can get a little rough. But the whole process is just so cool to see happen. But that's why I do it. That's why I go back. I'm just hoping we get some big horror movies coming here in Georgia soon, so I can
sure.
everyone that pops up, man, I'm gonna try to be on there somewhere.
Oh, why not? So, and then Ola Bergman says, or the janitor on Scrubs. That was a funny one too. That guy was awesome.
Yeah, and that guy was good.
Yeah,
I
he
did get
was.
to on a National Geographic show called MLK about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. The doctor that gave the two guys such hell on Scrubs,
Yeah.
he played the president, and I was the senator, shook his hand when we signed the Civil Rights Agreement, and
Ah,
he was like, I said, "Thank you, Mr. President," and he'd say, "Thank you, Senator," and he'd hand me the pen, and we did that about 8 times. And he's so funny. Finally, he said, most people that get to touch me that often usually have to pay some money. But that's another thing. Some of the people you get to meet, or like you see on TV, you're like, I never would think I'd meet that guy.
yeah,
Or,
right.
so, yeah, that's the fun part. That's the fun part.
Well, brother, this has been one hell of a time, dude. I really appreciate you being on. I can't wait to hear what you do next. I'd love to have you back on if you ever, you ever want to shoot the shit or you got something new to what you
Like,
got you're working on or,
yeah,
hell.
man. Anything good pops up, I'll let you know. But steady as she goes right now. I think there's no huge juicy horror ones coming. But if something comes, I'll send you a message and let you know if I get on there and get something cool from some intel.
Dude, NDA or not, if you get contacted by 824 and you're involved in the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we got to talk behind the scenes.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. It was fun, man.
Dude, absolutely. I'll make sure I'm going to throw up the links to your Etsy and everything else too so people can check it out. You can buy yourself one of these baller fucking Mordred masks if
When
you're still making them.
Wherever you get it set up, man, shoot me a picture of where it's at. I want to see it.
1,000%. And if it's mixed in with some TCM flair to it,
Yeah,
just know that's a labor of love on my end too.
Put some lipstick on it.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right. Charles Ecton, everybody. Thank you for
All right.
being on, brother. Everybody
right.
have a good night.
All right, you too. Thanks, man.
See you, brother.
In the vast expanse where the cosmos sighs, drifts an ancient tale as old as the skies. A figure from stories now mythified, Space Corpse goes orbiting by. He once roamed planets, both far and wide, but now he floats where the starships fly. No more breath in his chest, yet can't be denied the space cadet who died. Oh, oh, Space Corpse, in the void you glide, a spectral waltz in the galaxy's tide, floating free like a cosmic guide. Space Corpse goes orbiting by. Galaxies turn while he haunts with pride. No anchor to worlds, just space to bide. Gliding through stardust, no need to hide. This wanderer who never cried. In weightless silence where time collides. He drifts in dreams so amplified, mysterious tales on mystic rides. Space Corps haunt so dignified. Oh, oh, Space Corps, in the void you glide, a spectral waltz in the galaxy's tide, floating free like a cosmic guide. Space Corps goes orbiting by. Galaxies turn while he haunts with pride, a spectral waltz in the galaxy's tide, floating free like a cosmic guide. Space Corps goes orbiting by.